Let's get in there. So
here
what am
we
I going
are.
to be investigating here? Because this is like, it looks like a 2D kind of side scroller, but there's so much depth to the background.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of those two main genres there. This is the Rift headquarters here. So this is where you kind of end up in between missions. And you talk to a lot of NPCs and agents. This is where the adventure part of the game happens. So this is one of the Rift agents here. His name is Dr. Sam Squatch. And yeah, he's kind of head of science and research. He's a Sasquatch, which are actually some of the earliest interdimensional travelers.
I've heard that about
Well, that's why
them.
we've only
That's
ever
the
found their
current
footprints.
theory.
And that's all they leave behind is footprints, and we've never found them is because they're in and out of portals. But we're gonna talk to an agent over here. This
Whoa.
is
I love him already.
Hello.
this is Sergeant Sprout Ironbulk. He's head of training, and we're gonna just chat with him for a bit. So in kind of like classic adventure game fashion, you can walk around and talk to these people, and you're gonna learn all sorts of new things. So this guy's got a secret that he's gonna tell us. He's kind of embarrassed. He's lifted too much, he's too swole, and he actually can't go back to his office. He wants to help out with this investigation, but there's nothing he can do. So, maybe Zara can do something about it. So this is really important because, you kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And if you check out the case log here, we can thumb over to all the profiles of all the agents at Rift. And you'll notice that it actually says Sprout has confessed that he's grown too big and can no longer fit through doors and exit the gym. So
you give a purpose of talking to NPCs.
yeah. And Zara she jots everything down in her case log here, so you can always reference it. So we're gonna keep that in mind as we head into a mission here.
And thank you for that case log, because so many times I play a lot of games, and sometimes if I put one down, I play something else, and I want to come back to it, I don't remember what the heck I was doing.
I've got a terrible memory, so that's exactly
Well, thanks
why
for
we did
designing a
this.
game for us.
You're welcome. So there's three main dimensions that we're investigating related to this case, and we're gonna head into one called Gootopia. They're all alternate realities of Earth. So this is an Earth where animal life didn't really evolve past the goopy amoeba stage.
Well, actually,
no
and
bones.
while we're headed in here, tell me a little bit about the option, because it looks like you can choose where in the game you want to go, where you want to explore.
You can actually, so the 9 main missions can be completed in any order, which is pretty neat. And so there's each dimension has 3 main missions, and then if you kind of complete the investigation for that world, you can actually fight the boss or locate and interrogate the boss, but they don't leave without a fight, spoilers.
So is there any point where you go and complete a mission and then you have to go back and revisit?
So what happens is you'll find clues in each mission, and you're going to use those when you head back to the Rift headquarters. But you'll also notice, and you'll see it in a bit here, there's collectibles. There's a lot of collectibles in every stage, and those are what you use to kind of level up and upgrade your character. But so you'll see I can kind of like run around, jump. I've got a bunch of different attacks. The most important tool that Zara has at her disposal is this thing called the Proton Slinger.
I was just about to hit that.
Yeah, so if
That's awesome.
I hold down the trigger here, you'll see I can kind of aim this cursor around. It slows down time, so even in midair I can aim it, take my time. And if I head over to this anchor-looking thing, you'll notice it's lit up. There's an arrow on it, so if I go ahead and target that, it'll actually just launch me. So this is one of the most important kind of traversal mechanics here. I'm gonna beat that guy up. But it's also not just used for traversal. We use it in a lot of different and cool ways.
You can use it on enemies.
The fighting here is so satisfying too. I mean, it's such a small thing, but how tactile everything feels when you're smacking them there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also a big fan of beat 'em ups. So it's something that I think is important.
Oh.
So you can see we can actually slow down time, grab this out of the air, throw it back at an enemy,
Bam.
Cool.
fling up here, bam. And it's one of those things where this mechanic takes a little getting used to because you have full control of where you can aim and full control of how you exit these hooks. So if I jump up high, it's going to shoot me down. If I'm below it, it'll shoot me up. It's
Get out of
full
here.
control.
Get on the you're freaking me out, guys.
Oh, no.
There we go.
That's some stressful stuff right
Yeah.
there.
Are you smoking on upgrades? So in what way can we upgrade? You upgrade your proton slinger or your character in general or both?
You can upgrade a lot of different things. So this thing here, this is called Upgradium. And you collect this.
And what does
What a
Upgradium
quinky.
do, Alex?
I have no idea.
Make it upgrades for
so
300.
basically, if you collect enough upgradium, at the end of a level, you'll kind of catalog it and you'll use it to level up your character. And that allows you to, perfect timing, look at that, access these terminals. So these are your checkpoints in the game. You get into one, and you have your permanent upgrades, which, like, as you level up, you're just gonna get new attacks, more health, stuff like that.
And these are things, are you going to be choosing them with how to spend your upgradium, or is it all in a tree that you're going to
Yeah, it
access
kind of
in order?
unlocks in a tree. But these equipables are where things get pretty interesting. So I can equip, for example, a double jump. And
Oh, so you have different loadouts as well.
yeah, and,
Okay.
and now I've got a double jump. So,
Nice.
but I can also equip, you know, like double speed, or I can increase the amount that I heal, or I
Hell
can
yeah.
I can get a hover jump. So we'll just stick to the double jump for now. But the idea behind this upgrade system is that, you know, we're doing a cross between adventure games and action games, and those are like two pretty distinct genres. So if someone really loves adventure games but they're not super great at action games, then they should like equip some of those pieces of equipment that will let them, you know, have an easier time.
Instead of having like difficulty sliders, you have, you know, you can
Precisely, yeah.
play this way or play that way, and one's going to be a little more successful than the other.
Yeah, and if you're like really hardcore speedrunner, or you just, you know, think you're all that, you can double your damage, but you die in one hit, or you can like, you know, double your speed, or all sorts of crazy stuff. So really, we just want players to be able to customize the character to their liking. You know, how do they like to play platformers? Because there's so many different platformers, and they all control differently, so you can kind of fit Zara to suit your needs.
Adventure games played a really huge part of my childhood. One thing I liked about most adventure games is the fact that you could beat the story, you can go back with the power-ups that you already have. Is that a thing, or?
Yeah, so like basically, you know, because you can play things in any order, and it's almost, do you think
You'll get it, you'll
I
get
need
it,
this
tune
game?
in.
No, I'm out of here. This one's too hard. But what that is that's a kind of like a secret bonus room where you can get more upgradium. So this level, it's a little more, like the enemies here are pretty easy to get through. It's one of the easier levels, and it's got a little more exploration, but other stages have, you know, they might just be filled with combat or really fast paced or filled with puzzles. There's a lot of variety. There's even one level that takes place in an arcade and a robot arcade in a
As you
robot
do.
dimension, as you do. And you just have to play through mini games. There's a lot of variety. But yeah, part of like deciding the optimal path to get through the game is deciding, you know, what upgrades do I want where.
Well, you
You
also
know.
mentioned that investigation is going to be part of progressing the story here. Can we see you investigating some things, perhaps?
I'm gonna get once I get to
no
this
pressure
area,
in the middle of
no,
the level.
No. But I'm coming up on a clue pretty close here, and so basically, when I get a clue, and then when I beat the level, I can go back to Rift, and it's up to me to figure out where's the best place to use that clue. Who should I talk to? Ooh, oh no, I got
Get
swallowed.
him!
no.
Get him! No, fight your way out! You got it!
Okay, so you notice how, as I've been beating these enemies, I'm collecting those kind of orbs of energy.
Yeah.
So the bar in the top left, under my health bar, it's been filling up those energy meters, and I can actually use those to heal myself.
Oh.
Or I can spend them to send out some pretty powerful attacks.
I was just about to ask if she only, you know, did hand-to-hand combat.
She's got a couple
pretty cool.
tricks up her sleeve.
Got a couple moves in there. And
Yeah.
that how we spent the energy that we collected over the course of the level, is that going to be something that we can change and reassign as well?
Yeah,
Or-
so like there for example, there's an upgrade you can get that, you know, you'll get more health out of 1 bar of meter than you would normally, or you can, you know, reduce the cost of an attack or things like that. They become really useful in like boss battles and things like that. Let's get up here. Okay, so
I
here's
love
a
how
clue.
the doors work, and I love how the goo works. I'm sorry, I just had to shout out the goo mechanic. It's so
Good,
fun.
I love that.
So are there checkpoints?
Yeah. So
Throughout the
those
map.
those terminals where I've been accessing my upgrades are also checkpoints.
Okay.
And yeah, so we found a clue here. This is my kind of field agent guide, Skip, and he's gonna let me know what's going on. So it's called Dice Zelinsky Uzide.
Sounds evil.
Yeah, and it's basically, if you rub it up against something, it can temporarily reduce its size. Now, do you guys know anyone who that might help back at Rift?
I do know a guy, and in fact, I cannot wait to continue this journey as the game comes out. I don't want to give too many spoilers away here as we head back and save.